have my first episode of Author Showcase, which is what I'm going to call it every time. I am blessed to have an author, published author, on my show, and we will showcase and pay some homage to our visiting author. Pauline Baird-Jones is with me today. She has a blog called Life Happens a Lot, or it's Life Happens a Lot. I love that. Pauline is the award-winning author of 16 novels of science fiction, romance, action, adventure, suspense, romantic suspense, and comedy mystery, as well as she has released several short story anthologies. I had a trouble putting down The Spy Who Kissed Me. I read it up until the minute before I walked in this room. I've been reading it all afternoon, and I'm about 75% through, and I can't wait to find out what happens. It's driving me crazy. It's a great, great book. Let's see. She has her 8th novel, The Key, won an Independent Book Award, bronze medal. It's called an IPPY. And for 2008, and is a 2007 Dream Realm Awards winner. That's not easy to say. And let's see. There's a lot more to tell you about Pauline Baird-Jones, but I just wanted to introduce her to the show. So, without further ado, we've got Author Showcase. Woo! And we're going to do our dance intro. So, are you ready? Hi, everyone. Welcome to 10 Minutes in Tinseltown with Ms. Meliz. I'm Melissa Reyes, and I'm happy to have with me Pauline Baird-Jones and Keyara Fleece. Welcome, ladies. And this is such a thrill for me to have another life coach, and who has now Keyara is. I'm calling you a life coach. Besides the entrepreneur, what are we calling yourself? A motivational speaker.
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a podcaster. All those things. I definitely want futurepreneur. I like to say.
Okay.
But I do coach. I life coach. Any words you can put.
Well, I have to come up with some colorful words because your new venture, your new brand, and blog name and podcast that you're going to be launching has the F word in it. So it's called You're Effin' Amazing, and it's really ironic because just last week I had an interview. It hasn't aired yet on YouTube, but it was with Carolyn West, and I was talking in my intro about a really amazing soul food that I had that I said was effing amazing, and one of my viewers was like, "Did you just say effing?" I was like, "It means freaking, okay?" It was so freaking good, because my motto is that I don't like to put anything out there that I wouldn't want my kids to watch. So I'm careful with words, even though they've heard me cuss. They have heard me cuss, but I still, I work for middle school. So if any of my students or any of my kids see something that I do, I try to just, model the behavior. But, even I don't know, you guys, okay, Keyara, where are you from? Where are you right now? You're in Virginia right now. And Pauline, you're in Houston,
Virginia.
Right? Yeah, right. So you're effing awesome. And Pauline, you are, life is happening a lot for you. So how did you come to have that name for your blog?
And one day I just said, "Oh, my life keeps happening," and I thought, wait a minute, that's like what everything I write about is life happening a lot.
Right.
So it was kind of like a journey to find myself there. But I've been Perilous Pauline and all kinds of different things, but
Well, I can really identify with that because I have my persona, which I call my blogging persona, is Ms. Meliz. And I did that just because I have a very common name, Melissa Reyes. Even if you Google Melissa Reyes or go on YouTube and search Melissa Reyes, you're going to get a Filipino rock star. And she's a lot of videos, and she's a great singer, but it's not me. So I have to go, having a persona is kind of fun, though. And I found that I really come out of my shell. It's my own personality, but I'm pushing forward with it with a lot more energy when I use Ms. Meliz. And so is that what's behind, Keyara, what's behind your freaking awesome by just trying to push through this energy?
Yeah, and my target audience is like 25-year-olds, so it's kind of normal anyway. But the reason it came out is because I don't know, that title kept coming to me intuitively. I'm not lying. I was like, I don't know, that just seems like a little much. I was really afraid of it. And then finally I was just like, everybody I told who was, someone who would consume it was like, yeah, yeah. They were like, this is awesome. So I know it's going to get people off of their seats. And that's the whole point of it, is to inspire people into action today towards your dreams.
That's really cool.
I was like, go with it then.
Let me ask you, Pauline, because I have only read 75% of one of your books. I apologize. Reading it made me remember how much more I need to read because I enjoyed it so much and I love reading, but I haven't read much lately. My question is about, you don't have any cuss words in that book. The main character's, a church-going girl and who's young and single, and she's careful about not going all the way, and she's, careful on how she talks, and she's concerned about what her mother thinks and what her nieces and nephews think, and so, that sounds a lot like me, maybe our generation. Are all your books that way? Are they real clean like that? Is that a conscious effort on your part?
Pretty much. I probably experimented a little bit with characters because some of them are rougher, and I have bad guys, but it upset my mom.
Really?
She was more worried about the swearing than the killing, actually, so I got in trouble.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Like,
that's what happens a lot of times.
Boy, that action scene with that, when that guy kills that other guy, it's really awesome.
Yeah, you can kill people, but you can't swear about it. So,
yeah, it's strange. I used to have a pretty. This isn't what we're going to talk about the whole time, Keyara, I swear, because that's really not a big relevant point for you. But I just have to say that I used to cuss a lot before I started working at a church, and I really had to keep myself from doing it for so long that now I'm more aware of that. But now that my kids are all teenagers, I just try to be myself, and if stuff comes out, then they just have to deal with it. They are used to that. And so, but it is a little unusual for parents because we try so hard to be good, and for some reason we think that certain words are bad. Have you ever seen SpongeBob SquarePants, the cartoon? Neither of you have seen. Have you seen it, Keyara? Okay. So there's an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah.
You've got to look this up, Pauline, if you haven't seen it yet, where he discovers a bad word. And SpongeBob kind of has a kid mentality, even though he's technically an adult because he can, work and stuff. But he has this kid mentality in that he and his friend discover a dirty word, and they're told not to use those words, and there's reasons. And so they're just bleeping out and making sounds because they're using these words, and they think it's hilarious, and they don't understand what they mean. And I just love that episode. That's kind of like how life is. In typical, I want to ask all those same questions that interviewers ask. What advice do you have for a new author? I'm sure you've been asked that before, Pauline. And, what kinds of things are you planning for your blog, Keyara? But what I really want to know is, what do you do for fun? What kind of things do you just do to just, take yourself away and give yourself something? What floats your boat? What's exciting for you? Pauline, you go first. What do you do? Come on.
Oh, my husband shakes his head because I'm kind of a hermit.
You
I
told me
like
that.
to be
But
home.
even hermits have fun. I know they
I
must.
know. My very favorite thing right now is to see my kids and my grandbabies. I'm a new grandma, so if you've read my blog at all, I have a grandma project going. I'm trying to learn how to be a great grandma. So we just got back from a trip, and it was awesome.
Well, you like to travel, and you like to look at your husband's photography. He's a photographer, so he travels.
I'm a huge reader, so that really is my big thing, is to get away from my own books and read somebody else's is really great. Change of pace.
What kind of books do you read?
Where no one dies. Oh, I read a lot of everything, but I tend to not read what I'm writing just because sometimes it can interfere, with what I'm reading. I just finished reading a really fun book that no one can buy because it's not for sale yet. I was beta reading for a friend, and
oh wow,
I just publish that book so I can brag about it to people because it was really great.
Your writing is really fantastic. It's inspiring for me. I don't know. I can't find the words, which is sad because what I want to say is about your use of your adjectives and the colorful ways that you describe things. It's inspiring for me because I get bored with reading what I write sometimes, and I want to make it more interesting, and that's a true talent. It really is.
Thank you.
What is your background? How did you start writing?
Well, my background is I grew up in Wyoming, and that was about all you could do there was read. I came from a really small town. So I started reading and reading and reading, and finally I read so fast that I kind of had to write something slow that would take me a long time to read. And I just tried a lot of different kinds of writing. I started out writing stage plays, actually.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was really fun, but not very lucrative. And then I went to children's fiction when my kids were young, and then just kind of moved in. I wrote Spy Who Kissed Me during the first Gulf War back in the 90s. Just, how you do, you kind of get an idea. You're like, oh, I wonder what would happen if someone stole one of those smart bombs.
Don't tell me too much. Spoiler alert. I haven't finished the book.
haven't finished it.
So what I discovered today, and maybe I'm the last person on earth who discovered this, but it sure came in handy. So I got the Kindle version. I was reading it off the cloud at work a little bit today, and then I was reading it when I got home, but I got that audio version too for the little upgrade so I could switch to audio while I was, doing different things. And I didn't really, it was funny because I already had in my head what the character sounded like, and so then I was listening, that's kind of weird, but I got used to it, and it was, that really helps to me, I think it's kind of neat. I would love to.
Me too, because I had but I thought she did a good job. You do have an adjustment period, though.
So, you moved to New Orleans, and a lot of your books are set in New Orleans, right? And so, that just doesn't seem to me like the hermit place to live. It was kind of exciting.
No, it's like the polar opposite of Wyoming. Dry, wet, lively, not lively. It was really good for me. I mean, it improved my cooking.
Yeah, oh God. I bet.
It was a really, really fun place to live. I don't know if you've seen the new NCIS New Orleans.
No, but I'd love to.
It's like going home because we lived there for 18 years, so.
Wow.
I just grew up there, yeah.
Wow,
well, I love it.
I really like the South, and I really like, everywhere I've ever been, I've always liked. I always come back to California, but and I haven't been to New Orleans, but I've been to South Carolina, which I loved, and so I just like to read about different places, and that's someplace I've always like to learn about. And then Virginia, I've been to, Keyara. So what took you to Virginia? Okay.
Oh, this is where I've always been. It's where I grew up. So I went to college here. I went to grad school. I went undergrad and grad here. And now I'm actually trying to get out. So not forever. It's my home, but like I need to travel right now. So
Passionate about, do you have a message that you try to convey in your writing or on your blog besides the humanity of life happens? But
Oh, probably in my writing, I'm most passionate about identity. You'll find that theme kind of running through my books because I grew up when women's roles were changing. And I mean, I came from a time when women didn't really have a lot of opportunities and have watched, the women's roles change and seen my daughters have more opportunities, and it just made me really happy. So my characters kind of deal with those because I had to change and adjust through the years to changing times too.
So true. The opportunities today are just completely different, and I think it's great. They talk about that glass ceiling being broken, and there are there's women like Keyara coming up with a brand called You're Freaking Amazing.
Yeah.
It's never would have happened before. Yeah, and her terminology of wantrepreneur or futurepreneur. I mean, I remember being in high school wanting to be a CEO, and I didn't really know what that was. I just knew it was the top, and that's what I wanted to be.
Cool.
And I'm still searching for that time when I could be something where I don't have a boss. Sorry, boss, but I have a great boss, and I love working for him. But it would be so nice to be the one in charge, and just I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but it's kind of neat with writing and with this kind of format. It is. Okay. Since we're on this topic of self-love and self-care, have you experienced that for yourself? Are there rituals that you do to keep yourself grounded and motivated, or have you worked with your characters in your many books about issues where self-love has helped them to come out and succeed in life?
I think every woman struggles with that. I think that we're really hard on ourselves. And yeah, I have to, especially in a business I'm in, where as soon as you go public with your writing, the critics show up. There's always going to be people who don't like what you wrote and don't like how you said that. And with the internet, it's become very immediate. You get a lot of, immediate feedback on what you wrote.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think everybody struggles with that. Every time I face the blank page, I have to remind myself that I can do this, that I wrote 16 books and I can write number 17. And there's always people who are doing better than me out there who wrote, 13 books this year. And that astounds me. I'm like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
But you have to not, judge your progress by anybody else's. I just try to do better personally with every book. Try to do, give my readers an honest, fun adventure. And it's very cathartic to hose people and create mayhem, and that keeps me grounded too.
Yeah, okay. It's a little revenge and stuff. Yeah, well,
I get annoyed have a bad experience out on the highway in Houston, which is every day, that I can go home and, lay waste to some people, and I feel a lot better.
What I really love about that, that's the duality of life, okay? And I really I noticed that, and I don't know if this is a thing because I haven't been out there, but all your genres are kind of two-faced. It's like comedy, mystery, suspense, romance. Like, are those very popular genres, or is that Pauline Bear Jones genre?
That's just me.
I love it.
I put a blender in there and I just mix it up.
Because we don't have to be any one thing, right?
No, I was kind of always doing that, and it made it really hard, before indie publishing. It made it really hard to find publishers and everything, but I still like what I write, and so I just keep writing it.
That's why I'm a lifestyles blogger and not, I don't just write about life coaching, or I just, don't just do reviews or, entertainment blogging, because I like it all. I just want to be what I am and do what I like, and it's my little world, and you're welcome to come and enjoy it. And if not, well, there's about billion other bloggers out there you can go read. And but I really love that. I love that. And I'm, here I am. The book, I've only read the one book. I'm going to keep saying that because I'm sure that all the other ones are amazing. But there's a couple of interesting things I found out about The Spy Who Kissed Me, and that is that you re-released it and changed its name, right?
Yeah.
So how much did it change, and why?
The book never really changed that much. When I first wrote it, it was 500 pages, which for a new author at the time, that was just unheard of. So I did cut a lot of words out of it when I initially found a publisher.
Okay.
It's called Pig in a Park, and that's not a real romantic name. And one of my publishers asked me to change it. And it was a friend who came up with The Spy Who Kissed Me, because I have interesting names that sometimes don't forward my work all that much. But when I released it myself, I was going to go back to my title, and my, I don't know, fifth publisher, she was like, please don't.
Pig in the Park.
So I kept it Spy Who Kissed Me. I liked Pick It Apart. When you finish it, you'll know why I called it Pick It Apart.
There's a little tidbit, like a little something that's come up having to do with the park, more than once, and it's interesting, and you have an ability to really kind of plant a little seed, and then just, oh, you moved on to something else. I wonder when we're going to get back to that. That's kind of neat. And then, but I didn't expect the suspense and the mystery even though it was a spy who kissed me, and it started just so much like this, lovelorn girl, wanted to be kissed, that kind of thing. But I really can't, as soon as we finish here, I'm going back and finishing it tonight because it's really cute. Because you're so fun. All right. So this is fun, huh? This is really fun. You know what? Do you know why? You know why I started it with 10 minutes in Tinseltown, don't you? There's a couple of reasons. I live in California, in Southern California, Los Angeles, and spend, a lot of time being fascinated with Hollywood and celebrities and stuff. But it's my feeling that we are all superstars. You guys, you two are rock stars at what you each do in your life. And you inspire, and I just want to highlight the real life rock stars who are in our own lives. I could really tap into, and I've been pushed to tap into interviewing celebrities, but I want to take all the time necessary to really speak with the celebrities in my life who've touched me, who are the real rock stars. So that's why everybody should have their 10 minutes in Tinseltown. Everybody should have their chance to shine. So here's your chance to shine. So one thing that people ask celebrities about all the time is where they hang out and where their favorite Hollywood hotspot is. So that's why I want to know, Pauline, where is your hangout? And what is the coolest place for you to go and just really step it up?
My favorite place right now is called Peli Peli, and it's a South African restaurant. And it's very cool, and they have the best food. And knowing that I lived in New Orleans for 18 years, when I say the food is good, it's really, really, really good. And very
What
unusual.
is South African food like?
Oh, wow. He uses a lot of peppadews, and he mixes fruit into the food in interesting ways. My favorite is probably a filet with kind of a cherry sauce on top and blue cheese. Just really good. And of course lots of garlic.
So
he's really quite an interesting character, the guy that opened the place, and it's kind of in an obscure location here in Houston. And my husband kind of discovered it, and it's been our favorite place ever since. He had his 30-year party there with the company, and now it's like a really rocking spot. You have to get a reservation because it's just a really, really good place to eat. It's very fun.
It sounds so cool. So, and it's
So,
Pele Pele? Am I
Pele
saying it
Pele,
right?
yeah.
Pele Pele.
Uh-huh.
Very cool. I'm going to look that up. So, is there anything else that you'd like to share with me? Tell me about how you can inspire other people to do what you do. Pauline, what's your advice for new authors who want to self-publish? And Keyara, tell me what's your advice for someone who wants to start, a blog or a podcast or a new business? What is your pearl of wisdom to share with all the rock stars out there? Pauline?
I would just say it's a wonderful time to be a writer. When I started, we didn't have a lot of options. You only could go try to get an agent. I had two, and try to get with a big publisher. And I ended up with 5 or 6 publishers, and I'm so excited to be in charge of my writing and my business, and to be picking the people who do my editing and do my covers. It's just a really, really great time to be a writer, and be brave, go for it. If people have questions, check me on Twitter, ask me questions. I'm happy to answer them.
Oh, that's so nice. That's really cool. And you are very giving and helpful on social media and through Triber and Twitter and on your blog. You mention a lot of other blogs and you help to promote other people, and I just think that is so important. And how about you, Keyara? What is the advice that you would give to someone who wants to start a business or program?
well, first, can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. Well, first, I just wanted to say, Pauline, I think it's so cool that you were traditionally published and then you went to self-publishing, which says a lot about self-publishing. I think that's really cool. But as my advice to someone who's wanting to start is just to start. You just have to. Someone I was interviewing earlier today, she was just like, stop planning. Not that there's anything wrong with the plan, but stop procrastinating and just go and do something. If you want to do something, you'll learn. You'll figure it out, and you'll learn really quickly what's wrong and what's right. So go do something with your life. Stop being afraid. Stop listening to people who say you're crazy, because you are, and they're even crazier for not doing things that are fun with their life. So you only get a certain amount of years. I could die tomorrow, and and my poor little 24-year-old self, and then I want to enjoy all my time. So everyone needs to do the same thing. Enjoy your time. You might not get that many years, so don't wait. So that's what I say.
What's stopping you? Yeah. Gosh, I love your energy. That is fantastic, and it's so true. It's just, I wish, I don't know, what was I thinking when I was your age, and worrying so much about pleasing other people. I was so concerned about doing what was right. And I didn't become empowered until the last 5 or 6 years, where I felt like, hey, what I want, what makes me happy is what's right. And so, and still thinking in the back of my mind, this would make my mom so proud. Which is great. It's great to make other people proud, but you know what? It makes me proud. I'm happy with what I'm doing. And that's what I want people to learn. So, shameless plug time. Tell me about your newest project, Keyara, and then Pauline, you can tell me about your newest venture. So, Keyara, tell us about your effing awesome, and how can people connect with you who want to maybe be in your program?
Okay, yeah, so you're effing amazing, except it's all spelled out, no effing.
Oh, not awesome.
And not awesome. No, well, it's easy to go back and forth. But So that's my newest project. It'll be launching in December, but you can follow me on Twitter at YourFNAmazing if you want to just be in touch with what's going on. So I really don't have anything. I'm in pre-publication kind of stuff. So right now I just don't have anything to promote. I'm just like, everybody do your own thing, love yourself.
And stay tuned, right? Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. I'll be there.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just living my life, doing my thing.
That's okay. So Pauline, what have you got for me?
Well, other than blogging, my newest release is called Core Punch, and I went back to New Orleans for that book, and I went to New Orleans in the future. I had way too much fun imagining what New Orleans would be like in the future.
Awesome.
And it was a really fun experience. It's going to be part of a series called An Uneasy Future, and it kind of spins off my other series that I'm doing on New Orleans called The Big Uneasy. So
play on Big
having
Easy.
A little fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, hosting people, New Orleans.
Hosing people? Is that what you said?
Hosting my characters, not anybody real. I never hurt real people. No matter what my husband tells you, I never hurt real people.
But I'm glad you mentioned this. First of all, Core Punch, is it already released or is it coming out?
It's already out.
It's already released?
It released in June. So.
Okay, cool. So we have to check that out, and that's the first of a series. So that's cool. And I wanted to ask you about the time elements, because you do write a lot about time travel. Am I right? Going back and forth in time.
I don't know why.
I was gonna say why?
It's just it fascinates me. I think I always I'm drawn to fish out of water stories. Somebody in an unusual situation, and what's more unusual than being thrust back in time. One of my favorite projects ever to work on was Out of Time, where my heroine travels to World War II. And it was an amazing experience to write it, because I got to talk to so many World War II veterans and hear their stories, and it was just a really neat experience. And I got to time travel.
That's cool. And you also write some steampunk? I'm like...
No. I mix it up.
You're so cool.
They said I was weird. I was like, yeah, but he said it was wonderful. It was weird but wonderful.
Personally, I don't get the steampunk. I haven't read one yet. It's fascinating to me. Like, they're doing the play 12th Night at my son's high school in a steampunk version, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. And so I think that kind of thing is cool. But it took me a while to kind of I started seeing the genre come up a lot with the Triber, with all the readers and writers that we're in touch with, and I was like, what? And my husband is all, my husband's like, yeah, don't you know? He knows everything about everything, so he knew all about it already. So, Keyara, do you read any kind of non-fiction books? I mean, fiction books like that? My book's non-fiction, but do you read steampunk, romance, mystery, comedies?
Well, no, honestly, I like everything. I love getting into just somewhere else, being somewhere else. But I really like science fiction and things that are unrealistic, things that are just, not going to happen. I like that kind of, and action, and women doing crazy action things, like fighting people and shooting people. I love it.
I would say we're probably the three most passive people who would never go out and hurt anybody, but we all like that. Isn't that interesting?
I love it.
I love, like, Charlie's Angels, and I like the new ones where they just are so badass and they could just, just knock anybody out. Really, love that. I love that action and stuff. But I like the damsel in distress too, because I have to keep going back to the Spy Who Kissed Me, because she just like melts. She's like, "Oh, come save me!"
Really was.
Like, oh.
I do stronger characters later who do some kicking butt.
Well, I can see that character coming into her own. Like, she's just starting to, like, you know, understand about the clues and stuff. I could see her kind of becoming a little sidekick for what's his name? Calvin
Capone.
Calvin Capone with a K. I just think your world's so fascinating, and I definitely want to write some fiction at some point and do a screenplay, and I have a play. I've got a lot of little projects. I've got a lot of stories in me that I've, kind of just waiting to finish a phase of my life to where I could devote full time to it. But the whole publishing experience, and Keyara, you're going to want to do it, really, if you don't already have at least an ebook, because it's such a wonderful experience to get your words onto paper and to publish something and to have people, see into who you are through your work, and then having that body of work in that format that's just, it's so I hesitate to say superior, but it's unlike anything else as far as a blog or a video or whatever. But when you can say, "Here's my book," and you're holding it in your hand, and or you see somebody reading it, and it's so amazing, and it's just like, I can't wait to do it again and again. I'm working on another project right now where somebody asked me to write their story, and that's been challenging because it's kind of like an autobiography or a memoir I'm writing for somebody else. So it's been fascinating because it's been through the interview process of getting to know and digging really deep, and it has a lot of elements of life coaching in a sense, because I have to be really sensitive to some of these things, and it's building character. It's like, to me, learning about all the people in her life are like building characters, yet they're the people who are in her life. So it's kind of fascinating. So anyway, I just want to thank both of you. Do you have any? How about you, Keyara?
I can't think of any questions off the top of my head. I have actually written something. I can't wait to one day, because I do like to write. So I can't wait to one day hold a book in my hand like you guys have, because I think that's, when you tell someone you've written a book, that's a little bit, you can't say I'm writing a book, or, that little, a lot of people say I want to write a book or I'm writing a book, but to say I wrote a book and here it is, that's powerful. They gotta shut up. They're like, oh.
It really is. I mean, they better duck or I might hit them with it or something. But no, it's really just, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a nice thing to do, and it's changed my life and opened myself up to a whole new world. And in Keyara, I can really identify with your saying just do it kind of attitude, because that's how I started this podcast. I don't know if you've ever heard of Alicia Lawrence, but she's a really great life coach too, and she wanted to interview me for her podcast, and I said, "Oh, I've always wanted to have a podcast, that sounds so cool." She's like, "Why don't you? Why don't you? Why can't you start now? What's stopping you?" And I'm like, I didn't have an answer.
In true life coach fashion.
And that challenge resonated so much with me. By the end of the week, I started it, and that night I named it, and it was born, and it was just like, she was like my doula or something. It was really cool. So anyway, I just want to thank you both for being with me tonight, and thanks to all the guests and visitors that we had online silently watching, and all of Pauline's family, and Keyara's bird and her brother. And, So now it's time to rock it out, ladies. Pauline, if you have anything else to add? Any questions?
Anybody, you can find me at paulinebjones.com or on Twitter. But I had a great time. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, thank you. And you want to, if anybody wants to catch up on your blog, there's a couple things I'd like to say about your blog. One, I love the Monday thing, and I guess every Monday you kind of have a little rant, but you just revealed that you do it on Saturdays. I thought that was classic. I love that. You're such a great humorist, and it's just really enjoyable to read those clips. And also, you have a thing for comments where you give away a gift basket. Mm-hmm. And all my blogger friends and all the blogging I've done, I've never seen that for like the last 4 years. And so probably a lot of people do it. Maybe I just didn't see it, but I thought that's pretty clever. How did you come up with that?
Someone else suggested, doing something for people who take the time to comment. And my sister-in-law, who's one of the guests, makes the wonderful baskets for me. And she has this amazing soap. And I thought about, giving away like a gift card or something to Amazon, but I thought that still felt self-serving. I wanted it to be something that was totally just about people who come to visit. And soaps and yummy stuff for women, that's taking care of the girls. So.
Taking care of the girls. That's so great. And so how often do you do the drawings?
I do the drawing once a month, but if I am involved in an event, like I'm doing, I'll try to do a gift basket then too. So sometimes I do more. It just kind of depends on if I'm doing other things. Like I gave away a couple when I did Facebook parties. And they're pretty, I don't know, they're pretty popular. They're pretty yummy soap. She handcrafts
yummy
everything.
Soaps.
Yeah, Northern Wyoming, I'm telling you, she makes great soap. So Anna Banana.
That's fantastic. And shout out to Anna Banana and her products and your Perilous Pauline blog at and how you give out these baskets. I guess anybody who comments gets a chance to win.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be commenting a lot in it.
I'll make sure.
No. I want to win it. That's fair and square.
Okay.
I do want to do one more shout out because I don't know if you guys have heard of this, and I'm not, I was asked to review this product, and this isn't part of my review, but this is like say how cool because I'm so self-promoting tonight. But besides in my book, I have these new stickers, and they're called kitty cows. Okay. So you can have them personalized. I don't know if you can see. Let me go in a little bit more. These say Ms. Meliz, 10 minutes in Tinseltown. But they're these labels, and they're really made for kids to put in their clothes or their lunch boxes or whatever, and they're waterproof, and then you can even wash, and they'll stay stuck on.
Isn't that
cool? So it's like I know, huh? You know what's really cool that they do? One person does, they put them on the flip-flops so they could tell which kids' flip-flops they are, and they don't come off when they step on the flip-flops. Or you could just, I just like sticking them on everything. I put one on the back of my phone so that I know which side the camera is on. And, I'm going to a conference soon, and I'm going to be sticking them on people. And so, but so they'll I don't know, maybe somebody will tune in to my show. But I just love stickers. But I love it. It's called Kid Decals, but only one D, so it makes it Kitty Cows.
Oh.
Isn't that cool? Kitty
yeah.
Cows. KittyCows.com. Wow. So shout out to Kitty Cows. Thank you for sending me the labels, the personalized labels, and I really do love them. And thank you all for being here. Time to rock it out, ladies. All right. This has been 10 Minutes in Tinseltown. Thank you to my guests, Pauline B. Jones and Keyara Fleece. And 10 Minutes in Tinseltown, if you want to be on it, just hit me up on 10 Mini TT at Twitter.